When you think about a hunting dog, you're probably thinking about a dog that's focused, determined, loyal, rippling with muscles, ready to go at its owner's command, meant for the hunt, meant for focus, and honestly, you're not thinking about Riggins. My dog, Riggins. A little on the pudgy side, elite couch potato, marvelous nap taker, but honestly an all-American family dog. So no one was more surprised than me when one 4th of July I saw Riggins sprint towards fireworks, not away from them, and look up to see where the shells were coming from. In a quick moment I realized that Riggins, while he was pudgy and funny and goofy, he might have been meant to be a duck dog. So I decided to do something about it. Riggins and I would try to learn how to hunt for ducks. Maybe, just maybe, an old dog could learn some new tricks. Ever since I left home, I knew I always wanted to get a dog. And not just any dog, but a Labrador Retriever. Growing up, we had a loyal, steadfast, nearly perfect dog named Georgia. She was a black lab, built like a horse, basically was like a second caregiver to my brother and I, just as good as all dogs get. And so I'd always had that in mind. After my wife and I got married, I started to ask, and life just was never in the right place. A couple years later, we started to haggle. She'd say golden doodle. I'd say black lab. Corgi, black lab. Golden retriever, black lab. Okay, you can't have the dog you grew up with. And to be honest, that was a fair point she made. And for some reason, we then both said 1, 2, 3, yellow lab. And so a few months later, we found ourselves in Mars Hill, North Carolina, picking up a pudgy lump of yellow fur, who we decided to name Riggins. And yeah, if you have to know, it's definitely after Friday Night Lights. He was definitely named after Tim Riggins. As Riggins grew up, his energy needs went up as well. So we'd take him down to the local river park and run him through the water and watch him be his absolutely goofy self. But of course, as someone who loves to fly fish, I was like, man, there could be this world where he's a fishing dog. And so even before he was 8 months old, I was like, well, let's take him in the water and see how he does. And that's when I learned that Riggins loves to swim. I mean, he's a lab, he's good at it. And so first fly fishing attempt with Riggins was not great. And this is what was hard about Riggins, is that at home, he was a perfect family dog. But then it was like when we got on the stream, he just couldn't get over that natural instinct of jumping in the water and definitely not sitting on the banks of the stream. So there was this weird tension, right? I'd always thought, like, hey, he was going to be a fishing bud. But it just wasn't on the cards for us. As the years passed, Riggins became an integral part of our life. Whether it was helping us out on the farm, being a shoulder to cry on in tough times, being a source of joy on a bad day. Come on, buddy. Riggins was always there for us. And so it became kind of a concern that when babies came, we didn't know how Riggins would react. And we should have known better, because as soon as we brought our little boy home. Riggins, you ready to meet somebody new? Ready to meet somebody new? Okay, sit. Wait. Riggins, who is this?
Oh, gosh.
Riggins, who's here?
Oh.
Okay.
Say hello.
Okay. Say hello. Okay. Okay. And so we then watched something amazing happen. Riggins became a pillow, a source of texture for little hands to play with, something to pull up on. Good grief, even a jungle gym, as our oldest tumbled to and fro and above and around him, and Riggins would just look up at us and say, okay, this is what we do. He just was a steadfast, loyal dog. And it just kind of always ate at me, right? Here Riggins was being the champion family dog. And like besides some, throwing the tennis ball in the backyard, there was never like a moment for Riggins that I know he's a dog. Like I know that's just part of it, but like he's such a good dog. You would love him to have something. And that's where this all turns around. A year later, the family is celebrating 4th of July, and we put out some fireworks. Standard pyromaniac stuff. And so I grab his collar, and they start firing off some of the fireworks, and he does like tug, except it's in the wrong direction. Riggins is wanting to run towards the fireworks. I guess out of dumb curiosity, on the second firework, I let go. And he sprinted towards the fireworks. And when they popped, looked up and tried to figure out where the shells were landing. And as that second firework went off, I had a pit in my stomach because I knew, even though I had never hunted in my life before, I knew that he may have been meant to be a hunting dog. There was this piece of him that I never knew about. A couple months later, I was catching up with a buddy who I was going through a discipleship process with. He and I had fly fished before and caught redfish together and done all the good things. And I told him the story. I was just like, kind of crazy how my dog did this. And he stopped me mid-sentence. He was like, oh yeah, well, he was probably meant to be a duck dog. I kind of brushed it off. I was like, yeah. Well, duck hunting is insane, so I'm never going to do that. And he kind of stopped me. He's like, no, seriously. Like, if he knows how this works, like, he could actually be a good duck dog. And it kind of just gnawed at me. Because I don't know anything about duck hunting. And Riggins is 7 years old. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Thankfully, Kyle said, hey, no, I'll teach y'all. I want to see this happen. I want to see Riggins get his first duck. We were going to learn, and Kyle was going to teach us. There was nothing left to say. So with 1 month to go in Alabama's hunting season, I ran over to Kyle's house to try to see if Riggins and I could even do this. How are you?
Good to see you.
So I told you that, this crazy story, for me, it's not out of the question that he might be good at it, but I don't know like how to actually make duck hunting happen. And where do I even start? Where do we even start here?
Yeah, it's super simple. Like waders, shotgun, some decoys, and then finding the ducks obviously is the biggest factor. But yeah, I've got some spots I haven't been to in like 10 years. I mean, it's worth a shot. Like, it's pretty easy. We can just load up in the truck. Again, I've got an extra pair of waders. I've got an extra shotgun. Got plenty of decoys.
But like, if I want to get him into duck hunting.
Yeah, so biggest thing is when we fire a shotgun, that he's not just gonna lose his mind and, take off into the woods. I mean, that's first step. One of the things that like makes a really good duck dog compared to just like your kind of average dog is a dog that is in tune with what's happening above. That can see the ducks and knows like, oh man, like I'm about to be able to go fetch a duck. Being able to go for the dog to eye that duck land and then wait for you to say, go retreat.
Okay, so that's a big thing. Is it's not like they're going to be released on the shotgun shell.
Yeah.
They need to wait and then wait on the owner to release them.
I mean, if Riggins takes off, either way.
It just makes me think of like he's a family dog.
Yeah.
And so we've thrown the tennis ball in the backyard. We've thrown sticks. I mean, he's a lab, so
Yeah.
you can throw anything. But it's got me thinking that I need to train him to wait on retrieve. So that's the hard part about this, right? Is that he's a 7-year-old lab, where you normally be like, well, let's just train him in the off season.
Right.
I feel like the clock is burning.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to be morbid about it. It's more like he's gonna get old. He's already got white around his face
Yeah.
and around his muzzle, and like he's got a lot of energy. He's a lab.
Right.
And he's helping me parent these toddlers. So he's very active.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I have any time to lose. So is there anything else you feel like is mandatory that he have before we take him out into West Alabama?
If he's not shotgun shy, and he can sit still, the fun part is going to see, is he going to retrieve the duck? Like at this point, that's almost untrainable.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's going to be the natural part of it, which would be
Okay.
so cool if he does.
So okay, so that's my homework, and so if we do all that, we'll give duck hunting a try.
Yeah, I mean, besides the fact that you need to kill the duck, when was the last time you shot a shotgun, or have you shot clays? Like, tell me about.
So my father-in-law and a good family friend, every Christmas we go clay shooting as a family.
Okay.
The last couple of years haven't been great. So this is like realistically, this is my first entry into hunting. So stacking duck hunting, training, and marksmanship in one thing is I to be fair, I have not thought about it. I've been just thinking Riggins.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
now
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of it. So we'll see how that goes.
but of course, got to do my homework, got to make sure he's comfortable with it,
Yeah.
and we'll go do it.
Cool. I'm
Sound
excited.
good? I'm not. I'm scared. But we'll see. After leaving Cal's house, Riggins and I would start his training regimen. Now, since I couldn't fire a shotgun in suburban Birmingham, Alabama, I started in reverse order. First, just waited to see, could Riggins wait to retrieve an object thrown?
Carrot. Over here. No, carrot. Right.
Which was difficult.
Wait, no. Wait. No, really, wait, stop.
But the crazy thing was, even at 7 years old, or what is that, 49 years of dog years, Riggins started to learn new tricks.
Wait. Good boy. Good boy.
I mean, heck, just for fun, I even tried to teach him place.
Place. Both those. Place.
Except he's not really coordinated enough to sit on the cooler, so instead I just kind of punted and said, hey, look, if you touch it, that's place. The more we worked, the more responsive Riggins was. Each time he learned quicker, he was more responsive. He would actually start to track the duck bumper in the air when I threw it, as if he was like understanding that like, I need to know where this lands so I can go get it. I immediately called Kyle to tell him the good news, like, hey, I have a shot, and he, quickly corrected me, like, well, first, we gotta make sure he's cool with shotguns. So one Saturday, I loaded up Riggins and we headed to the farm. I'll be honest, I was really nervous because you don't know how a dog is going to react, especially a 7-year-old who's never seen one before. So the sanest thing I could think about is putting him in the car and firing a shotgun in the woods to see if he'd even jump. And of course, he was more whining that he wanted to get out of the car, and then when I popped it, he was like, that's it. So I was like, I took the next step. I took him out in the field. It's okay, I'm gonna shoot a shotgun with him by my side and see what happens. Aim, ready, fire. He took off after the wad. We did a couple more tests, and every time that's what he did. And so I called Kyle frantically on the ride home. I was like, I think we have something. I think Riggins is not only going to be fine around a gun, I think he's going to thrive around it. And that's when I got the worst news and the best news all wrapped in one. Kyle said, okay, meet me tomorrow at the Exxon at 3:50 a.m.
You ready, puppy? Riggins, why are you so awkward? He is nervous. All right, you ready to hunt? All right, bud. So hey. All right, load up, Riggs. Load up this way. Well, that was too easy.
Yeah, made him a little bed back there.
You ready, buddy? Yeah. All right. So, no, off. That's oh, he's gonna be. I don't know. Where am I gonna sit? Riggins, where am I gonna sit? Where are we, Riggs? What is it? What is it?
Oh, there's a buck. It's too high. But one coming back at us, you're gonna have like a second. That's gonna be your shot. Oh, two over here. Flying away. Oh, behind us. Take your shot overhead. It's okay. They were going fast.
It would help if that was a good shot. Good boy for looking. Good boy. Walking away from that hunt was nothing short of exhilarating. To have seen birds, to have gotten a shot, to have royally messed it up, felt like a heck of an opportunity. And so even though I was like buzzing on sleeplessness, coffee, and just the whole entire experience of it, I couldn't help but think, man, this is gonna happen. So Kyle said, well, we've got 14 days left in hunting season. We gotta keep grinding.
I just shoot turkey ducks. Dude, shine down your waders again, please.
This time we were hunting an area that Cal felt like was a little more ducky, a little more of a drive, but probably is gonna hold a little more ducks.
Hey, that's what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah, he's still Riggins. Still
What are
goofy.
you doing? Good boy, Riggins.
Damn it, that was all on me. Dude. God, it sucks so bad. We didn't laugh. It sucks so bad. Oh my God.
And our rhythm continued. No ducks. Time to clean up.
You got 2?
But it was kind of cool. Riggins was learning how to pick up the decoys without really being told. It's like he knew something. This one, Kyle said, we're gonna have to earn it. The temperatures are finally in what Kyle considers duck hunting temperatures. To him, it's a good thing. To me, it sounds like a death sentence. The water literally freezes up as soon as you kick it. There are not enough layers to stay warm. You see your breath no matter where you go. But to be fair, when I thought of how horrible duck hunting could be, this was it. Wondering if my toes are about to freeze over. And God, just over the lake there, they pop up.
Come on. Be still.
I'm definitely getting frustrated. We're seeing birds. I thought we earned it. We'll get one. We'll get one. And gosh, picking up the decoys out of the frozen tundra of Alabama, empty-handed. We've done ice, we've done snow, and now we're doing rain.
Yeah, this is the name of the game.
Kind of scrambling since we're running out of time. Kyle says, let's get in, get out, and get back to work and see if magic happens. Because all we really need is just one bird to see what Riggins does. The day just kind of burnt away quickly, and it's actually our first skunk. Didn't see anything. Definitely feeling the time's running out. Kyle says, let's go back. Let's go back to the honey hole. Let's go make the long drive. Make it a worthwhile hunt. Riggins, leave the decoys alone.
Wait. Good eye. That's all right. They were hot.
This isn't about me. This is about Riggins. You're on the gun.
You sure?
Yeah. That's embarrassing.
I'm not gonna argue.
That's embarrassing.
It's all right. Those are fine.
I don't know if this is a thing in duck hunting, but in fly fishing, sometimes you gotta switch it up, right? New angler, new area, new something, and so this is an easy switch. Kyle's a better shot than me. I really don't care if I kill the bird. It's more about, Riggins having this experience. So I was like, hey, pick the gun. Oh, right here. And frustration starts to set in on all of us.
3 more days of duck hunting. Gotta make it happen.
Well, except for Riggins. He seemed to just enjoy the whole process. From the adventure, the early mornings, setting up the decoys, bringing in the decoys. There was just part of him that seemed to enjoy just going.
All right. If you had 3 wishes from a genie, what would it be? After what we're experiencing.
For me to be a better shot, and for me to stay home and never have duck hunted ever in my life. I don't know.
All right.
What would be your
I've
wishes?
been pondering this deeply. And I think the most important one would be like not having to sleep during duck season. Just so we could full send to wherever and not have to worry about getting proper
Go to Mississippi or something.
Yeah, and then I think like being able to geolocate where all the ducks are. You know what I mean?
Would be
Just
cool.
like having infinite knowledge of where all the ducks are. And then number 3, man, I don't know.
Well, let's ask Riggins. Riggins, if you had a genie in the bottle, what for duck hunting, what would it be, bud? Oh yeah, he's thinking that. That's Riggins' wish.
I think my third one would be anybody we hunted with was an ace.
Yeah,
Like
just having one ringer in the group where it's like, oh look, Ben led a bird by 58 yards. At least we're gonna have Frank clean up.
It should be clear by now that Kyle is tough as nails. He works in construction, has a young family that demands a lot of attention, and here he was waking up at 4 a.m. trying to achieve a crazy dream for my dog. And so when I got the phone call that I really, really dreaded, there was not much to say. 3 days to go until the end of hunting season. Driving rain, buddy. And Kyle's sick. So it's just you and me. Literally couldn't really get out of bed, and he told me, look, at this point it's all luck. Pound away, it's gonna happen. Just you and Riggins have to do it. Have to figure it out on your own. And again, with just how happy Riggins was every morning, I was like, hey, you wanna go hunting? We pushed on. But this feeling of just being lost sinks in. Be in the middle of the Alabama wilderness, 2 ducks fly over and that's it. With 48 hours left in duck season, Kyle still bedridden with the stomach flu and me without a clue, I just played this revolving door of phone a friend. Anybody I knew who had a hunting license and had held a shotgun before was fair game. I called George, who's sworn to never go duck hunting ever in his life. And I said, let's do an evening hunt. I know it sucks for duck hunting, but let's go give it a try. And God bless him, he's like, cool, let's go try. Let's see if we can get Riggins a duck. And there we are in the middle of the wilderness and nothing. Again, I cannot change our luck. With 24 hours left in hunting season and no one else to call, I just said, okay, Riggins, let's get in the car and go. Look, here's the deal. Kyle's still sick, so we're gonna go back out and try to do this on our own. Do you feel like you can believe me in doing this? Oh, man. And so we drove to this one spot that I felt really good about. We're waiting and hanging out, and I set these decoys out. I don't know what I'm doing, and the moment I've been dreaming for, there it is. All right, that was 3 Riggins. And damn it if this story isn't that simple. Blown shot. I don't know. Maybe it's the nerves that have gotten to me. Maybe it's, I don't know. There's a lot wrong there, Riggs. Good boy, Riggins. Good boy. Good boy. Is this your favorite part? Good boy. Oh. Good puppy. Good boy. Good boy. 12 hours left in hunting season. I call Kyle. Please tell me you don't still have the stomach flu, and the call cuts off as he goes and throws up his lunch. As tired as I was, that evening I went with my oldest son to a birthday party. As fate would have it, struck up a conversation with a good friend of ours. He's like, dude, I've always shot clays. I've never gotten to do hunting. Like, can I go? It's like, holy crap. Who makes this stuff up? Yeah, 4 a.m. tomorrow. Let's go. Let's make the last day of hunting season count. Like, this is it for Riggins. We've sold out to one of the farthest places away in Alabama. We get birds flying in. They actually make a twist. They're coming into land. I see them clear as day. David's the better shot, so I was like, take the shot, man, take the shot.
Here they come. Oh my God, Dave, this is it. They're landing. Wait. I don't have a clean shot. If you have a clean shot, take it.
I don't. Ready, set.
Oh, good shot. Good shot. Bring it back, Riggs.
Riggins is swimming. You see that, like, it's all happened. And as he clears the tree line, the bird dies. David and I call out to him like, no, it's over there. But it's nowhere to be found. And then I make a mistake that I forever regret and really should have known better. So I go wade towards where the last place I followed got. I guess probably this whole thing has driven me to a little bit of insanity. And I'd fill up my waders. Kick a couple of times. I'm a decent swimmer, but not right now. And I grab onto a tree limb and pull myself up. Only later do I see that the whole time Riggins sees what's going down and swims out and tries to help me. Hobble my way back to safety, and it's a hard lesson I learned. Never chase a duck. I waddled back onto shore and really didn't know what to say. It was the last day of hunting season. We had done it. David had knocked down a bird. Riggins had tried to get out there in time, and the bird just dove. As we drove away and my feet started to thaw and I started, kicking the side of my car and thinking about, man, how close Riggins and I had come, I got a phone call. Kyle was finally on the mends. He was really hoping for better news. I told him I didn't have any. He said, dude, this isn't the end. Yeah, Riggins is 7 years old. but he's still got a lot left in him. He's really having a great time. So if you want to keep doing this, I want to keep doing this. And that's where it just, I hate to be cheesy, it all just kind of started to make sense. This has always been about getting Riggins out of the house and giving him opportunity to do something he might be really good at. He was really, really good at it, even though I was really, really bad at it. I guess that's where it ends. I know one day I'll be there and Riggins will have a duck in his mouth and I'll see what he's born to do. He was born to be a retriever. After the end of duck season, I'll be honest, I was a little burnt up. Riggins and I had come so close to our goal, and we had just ran out of time. While for the first 7 years of his life he had been a loyal family dog, in a matter of a month he had become almost a duck dog. But I, as the hunter, couldn't make it happen. So I was catching up with George and his cousin Nolan. And Nolan happens to be a pretty good duck hunter as well as a guy who loves to go for quail hunting. And as we were talking about Riggins' story and how close he had gotten in the duck ponds, Nolan floated a crazy idea. If Riggins really was a natural and had taken to duck hunting so quickly with honestly very minimal instruction from me, maybe he had the instincts to try something different. Maybe he could go quail hunting and actually do the whole bird hunting thing. With a few weeks left in Alabama's quail season, we set out to give it a try. Now there was a twist. Duck hunting and quail hunting are not the same thing. They require very, very different skill sets from dogs, and I had to acknowledge that maybe this wouldn't be a good fit for Riggins. But the one thing that gave me hope, the one thing that I felt like gave him a fair shot, was Riggins' best friend from childhood, Sturgill, who's a German short-haired pointer and is well trained for upland hunting. He's a pointing dog. They had been friends since they were pups, and Sturgill knows his way around the quail field. And then Nolan has Tuck, who again has really good bird training. So the thought was, if I can't train Riggins in time for quail hunting, maybe he can just learn from the other dogs. Quite literally, could he just follow his friends, Sturgill and Tuck, on an adventure to figure out quail hunting? So I jumped in the car and went and saw Nolan.
But looking at the laptop would be awesome.
So, I've been taking him out on public property. We got 3 wood duck to come in.
Yeah.
And they circle, and he's watching them, do their thing.
Oh, he's got his eyes locked on them.
Yeah, so he knows what's going on.
I mean, that's the look of he sees the duck for sure.
And so then of course I mess up the shot. Anyway, so I'm super chapped, right?
Yeah.
Then duck season ended.
And it's really too short overall. That's the biggest issue, is duck season is too short.
So anyways, when you gave me a call and we're like, dude, I think there might be some hope here. What'd you have in mind?
I mean, looking at this footage, the way he is, he's a birdie dog, that's for sure. So I'm thinking we get him in a quail field. That's still going until March 31st, so I think we could get him out there.
A little more than a month.
Yeah.
So I'm back into the duck season, I gotta get
when one door closes, another door opens. So I think we take him out with Tuck and Sturgill and see what he can do. We'll show you all the ropes. I think he'll pick up on it. He can watch Sturge and Tuck do 1 or 2 routes, but it's a lot of just the dogs working, crisscrossing, and I think he'll just watch them, he'll pick up on it, and he'll be getting birds just like they will, just as quick. So
Okay, just kind of try it out and see how we go.
yeah, we can't really mess it up. I think that overall, he's gonna have fun. There's gonna be a lot of cubbies out there, and it's gonna give us multiple opportunities. So I think this is gonna be a great feeder into him progressing into the next season.
Okay.
So we'll see if he can keep up with the boys.
All right,
So,
sounds good. Thank you, dude.
sweet. Yeah, dude.
It's pretty well known that I'm cursed when it comes to fishing. So no one was more surprised than I was when Purcell Farms, a premier upland hunting preserve right here in Alabama, said they had some slots opening for quail and chucker hunting. So Nolan, George, Kyle, and myself all piled in the car with way too many dogs and drove down to Sylacauga, Alabama to see if we can make some magic happen.
All right, buddy. You ready, man? You ready? Good boy. Come here. Here. All right, let's get this shit show underway.
What's the game plan here? I see so we're in, pines, got tall grass. So what are we gonna be doing?
Yeah, what's supposed to happen that's probably not gonna happen is he's gonna find a bird, point at it. Oh. Tuck man's gonna come in and be like, what's he looking at? Ooh, I smell it too. And then Riggins gonna be like, what the hell's everybody looking at? And then at some point, somebody's gonna shoot in flush, and it's gonna be chaos. Normally Tuck does pretty good when he sees Sturge slow down.
I think we could have Riggins come in and be our flusher dog as well.
Okay.
Once he sees the first cubby flush, it's gonna tell us a lot about how he's gonna handle things today.
Okay. He's following right along with the boys though. I mean, he's on their tail right there with Tuck the whole time, so I think he'll pick up on it really quick.
Okay. I'm excited.
All right.
Riggins, you excited, man?
Come on, Riggins.
Let's go, boy. Let's go.
Let's do it.
He really wants to help. You gotta wait, bud. Whoa. Yeah, hold on. Whoa, sit. Whoa. Bird back.
No bird.
Sit. Sit, 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 sit. Whenever y'all ready, I'll let Riggins go. Okay. Get him, go, go. Go, Riggs.
Bring it in. Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. Over here. Good boy.
Good boy, Riggs. Riggins, off.
Dead bird. That's a good boy.
It was pretty clear Riggins got the concept. It was the leash management from me that was holding us back. And so George mentioned, hey, just let the sport dog collar do the trick and see if you can't get him on the radio collar.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, whatever y'all. Okay, go, Riggs. Riggs, wrong way. I was right here. Riggs, get him. Get him.
Oh, shit.
Nice shot. Get it, Riggs.
Good boy, Tuck. Good boy, buddy. That boy, Riggs. Good job, guys.
I spoke too soon. Riggins was way too far into it and started going ahead and blowing up other cubbies.
All right, whoa, Riggins, whoa, whoa. Safety was on. Kyle's been dealing with this shit all duck season.
I know, I'm really starting to lose. I thought this was your thing, Ben.
Despite my bad luck and lingering bad marksmanship from duck hunting, Riggins was the one learning, and he honestly may have taken following birds a little too seriously.
Oh, shit. That's my bad. I was.
Riggs, here.
Riggins, wait. Oh. Riggins, wait.
All right.
Fuck this hole. Let's see, but yeah, you take that side. Okay, I'll go over here. Just don't shoot behind us. shit, right at your face.
Shit. Oh, no behind us, nope. No bird, back.
The pieces were finally all there. Riggins was learning, he was seeing, and he was even getting close to flushing his own covey. You can even hear Trip, who's the guide from Purcell, confirm it.
Thanks. Riggins, come. Come. Go help. Flush. Flush. Okay. Okay. Come on, go away. Okay. Okay. Good boy. Okay. Okay. Bring it back.
Look at that.
Good boy, Rick.
All we needed is for good luck and a good covey to come together.
A lot of activity.
I believe they're three tails, but I don't see anything. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh, of course.
And yeah, it wasn't this one.
Riggins, what's Sturgill doing?
Whoa. Okay. Go find Sturge.
Okay.
Nice.
Good boy, Rick. Good boy, Rick. Bring it back. Bring it back, Rick. Come on, Rick. Bring it back. Okay, well, both y'all bring it back. Both y'all bring it back. That's fine. Don't fight over it.
They did this shit when they were toddlers too.
Come on, bud.
Bring it back. Team effort. Let's go.
Good boys.
Look at this shit.
This shit before?
I have never in my life.
Oh my God.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Good boy. Drop it. Good boy.
Good boy. Drop it. Good boy. Good boy.
I tried to get a celebratory picture or clip together, and it's clear we have different ways of celebrating.
Here, Pop. Riggins. What are you doing?
And although this was such a big moment, what happened next was actually more important to me. It's permanently etched in my mind because I handed the gun to Kyle, who had been so patient with me during duck season, literally watching all those blown shots.
Good eye.
And I said, look, let's see if Riggins can take the next step without me being in command. And that's when I saw Riggins and Sturgill run off in unison, almost like a team.
There you go. There we go. Smelled it that time. I thought.
There it goes.
Nice. Good
Hit
play.
it. Nice.
Bring back. Come, Rick.
Good boy.
Boy, Rick. Good boy, Rick. Look at that boy. Look at that boy.
Good boy.
Good job, buddy. Come here. Come here.
He's like, I'm gonna hold on to this a little bit longer because you made fun of me for getting in the mud hole.
And from that point on, it was just plain fun.
Nice.
Get it, buddy.
Nice shot.
Bring it back, Rick.
Good boy. Good boy, Riggins. Good boy, Riggins. Here, buddy. Good boy. Good boy. I'm so proud of you. Good boy, Riggs. Come here, you big lug. Good boy. Good boy. Good job, Riggins. Good boy. Good boy.
Oh, 7.5 years old, no formal hunting training, no formal anything, to be quite honest. And there he was, fitting in with his two best buds, Tuck and Sturgill.
Get him, Riggs! Get him, Riggs!
As a guy who taught themselves to fly fish as a kid and always dreamed of getting a dog, it was kind of impossible not to think that those two worlds might combine one day. In my head, it just seemed perfect, right? Me, my dog, fly rod, out catching bass, brim, whatever we were after. But along came Riggins, who was very good at jumping in the water, very bad at keeping the quiet, and as some dreams are, it was a little too good to be true. Now, it wasn't for a lack of trying. About a year after we got Riggins, I decided it was time. It was time for he and I to try and hit the water and do what I thought was the perfect combination. Even better, I was living in Tennessee at the time and I had a secret spot that was loaded with big trout, and I was like, yep, this is exactly where Riggins and I will start our fishing journeys together. And to sum it up in one word, disaster. Every time we got to a fishing hole, Riggins would sprint out, jump right in the water, splash around, make a ruckus, and I was like, okay, well, I'll learn a little bit and try the next one, and try the next one, and the next one, and the next one, until I was out of fishing holes, and that was that. Maybe I should have learned that a 1-year-old Labrador Retriever isn't really a good fishing buddy. And after that point, I just kind of gave up, because it just was a little too much to manage how excited Riggins was to be in the water with me while, you know, not trying to scare every fish away. I just kind of stopped trying. And it wasn't that Riggins and I didn't have good times together. We did other stuff, and the family grew, and all those other wonderful things, but he and I just never fished. But something has changed. From duck hunting this past season, I've noticed that Riggins is a little different. He's a little more disciplined.
Good boy.
A tad more restrained. Possibly, and it's hard for a Labrador Retriever, but possibly a little more self-controlled around water. So I've brought him along for something I've grown to love. Fly fishing for red-eye bass in the mountains of Alabama. Now, red-eye bass fly fishing is a little bit different. If you're a bass angler, you need to think smaller. But what they lack in size, they make up in color and punch. Red-eye bass are native to small, clear, rocky, mountain-style streams in Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and a couple other places in the Southeast. What makes them appealing for fly fishing is that they are just aggressive, angry, distempered for anything that lands on the surface. Literally, my buddies and I, all we throw is topwater because it's just the most fun way to pursue them. If you're a trout angler, it actually looks a lot like brook trout fishing, but again, you're throwing a popper. And so we got introduced to this by Matt Lewis and MB Meeks, and we can't put it down. Like, it is one of the most fun styles of fishing that we enjoy, and for me, it's this great kind of adventurous release of going out into the middle of nowhere, you know, just careening down a mountain trail into these rocky pools, throwing out a popper, and watching just one of these beautiful bass absolutely smack a popper that lands on the water. There's just really nothing like it. But what has me really excited is that this actually might be a really good match for Riggins and I. He might just be able to sit on the shore while I get a few casts in as we move from pool to pool to pool. And so I just was thrilled to kind of put all the pieces together, because this is not only something that I love, but this is something I think that Riggins can do by my side, which is always where he wants to be.
You ready? You ready? All right, let's go. Let's go. Ready to find some bass? Let's go. Good boy. Good boy.
At first, when we got in the river, I started having flashbacks to when he was 1 year old. Felt like last time. From him giving me lip.
Hush. Hush. Sit. Wait. Sit. No. No. Wait. I know.
To swimming in the pool too soon. I mean, he was sitting on the bank, but just not long enough.
I know. Wait. 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 Riggins, what are you doing? Pop? Dude. Am I not allowed to fish now, bud?
They can get tangled in my fly line, which I still don't know how the physics even work. So he made spaghetti with the fly line in between his paws.
Riggins, can I have my line back, please? Riggins, can I have my fly line? No, not the fly. No, my fly line. Riggins, please. Can I have this, please? Go this way. Let's go on the shore. Come on. Stop. Is it one paw? One paw. Okay. No. Come here. Paw. Yes. Okay. Okay. Off.
It got to the point I was so focused on him and what he was doing that...
Dude, they probably can hear you. Hey. Oh! Riggins! I was focused on you, not the fish. Back.
And often is the case with me, I have a one-track mind. We are gonna catch this red-eye bass. I'm going to force it. It's going to happen. And Riggins is a Labrador Retriever. He needs to play in the water. He needs to get his energy out. He needs just to have a moment so that he can rest a little bit. So once we've gotten all of our zoomies out, gotten a good swim in, thrown the stick for a good little while, we were ready to go back on the hunt for red-eye bass.
Nope. Wait. Riggins, wait. Back. Wait. Hey! Look at that, Riggy! Wait. Good boy, Rick. No, Riggins, back. The fish is over here. Look at that, puppy. Oh, no, easy. Hey. Easy. What do you think? What is it, puppy?
Yeah.
It's kind of.
Tried it. Do it a couple more times.
Good boy. Safe. Riggins, what is it? Good boy. Good boy.
It was enough progress that I was like 6 years removed from such chaos. I was like, man, let's take a break. Let's get you a treat.
Good boy. You want a treat? You're doing a good job. You want one or two? Two? Okay. Wait. Good boy. Good boy. Wait. I'm not finishing this hole. Good boy. Wait. Wait. No, Riggy. Wait. No. Wait. 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 I know.
Oh my gosh! I do the quail! Riggins, what do you got? What does he got? What is it, Ricky? Yes, sir! No, I don't need your help with that one.
As I drove away that day, yeah, these are small fish, but golly, the color, the turquoise, the black, the red, the blue eyeliner, they're just one of the prettiest
And
fish
there's just
on
something
earth.
so satisfying about us finally getting time on the water together.
Again, when he was 1 year old, I wanted this to work. I wanted this to happen, but he just couldn't handle staying away from the water for more than 10 seconds. And now we've pushed those numbers up to maybe 45 seconds, which is just enough to get a cast or two in the water, get a couple fish, release them, get to see his reaction to a fish in hand, and get all confused when a fish was released. And then we were able to, give Riggins a little bit of a swim and then move on to the next pool. And I don't want to oversell it, but it really was this combination that I'd always dreamed of. My best friend by my side, fly fishing for something I loved.
Very good. This way. Come bud. Good boy. Thought that was gonna be it. Dadgummit. That's just you have a rod you've looked forward to for a long time, and you fish with it for an hour. Just a back today. Were you a fishing pup? Were you my fishing bud? Yeah. You still don't know how to behave? Okay. Let's go home. Let's go home. Come on. Good.
If I've learned one thing about duck hunting over the past year, it's the fact that it can make you go insane. The wake-ups, the cold, the scheming at the weather, the staring at the skies, the swearing that you've figured it out when of course you actually haven't. The grind of realizing you're in Alabama, which is not a premier duck hunting location. And then the monotonous countdown. 20 days till season ends. 19 days until season ends. 18 days till season ends. And then 9 months until the season opens. 8 months until the season opens. 7 months until the season opens. Are you ready? And again, as a guy who's not done this much, all I can think about is it November yet? Is it November yet? Is it November yet? Which is why I felt like I got jolted out of place when Kyle said, you know it's teal season, right? Now this was news to me. All I learned last year was that duck season was this very narrow window in the worst type of weather that affords you the ability to go and pursue limited options here in Alabama for duck. What I didn't realize is that teal are afforded a different season to coincide with their migration down to South America. They're a smaller duck, they're quicker, but the biggest thing is that it gave me and Riggins the opportunity to get out there well before November. Except he and I are in Alabama, which sometimes gets good teal, sometimes doesn't. But it didn't really matter. We were gonna load up the truck, go with Kyle, and try to find anywhere that we thought would legitimately hold teal. Get him? The first hunt we went on felt honestly a little out of place. It was warm, there was no need for waders, and to be quite honest, I didn't really know what we were looking for. We got decoys deployed and we got everything set up. It kind of became clear that it didn't really matter. There were no teal flying over today. Second hunt, we headed out again to a place that was a little more swampy. From Kyle's lineage in Florida, he knew that teal needed to be in a little more shallow water. We needed to find something that was connected to a river system. Basically, kind of a needle in a haystack for Alabama. But we did a lot of geoscouting, zeroed in on a spot, and in the middle of a cypress swamp, and tried to give it a go. Trying to push luck our way, we brought along Nolan, who was instrumental in helping Riggins get his first quail. Now, as to be expected, not a lot of action in Alabama. So there's this gnarly problem that right when you let your guard down, right when things seem to be slowing down and not really worthwhile, time to pack up the truck. And I'm not the greatest shot in the world, and I'll just pass it off that Nolan was a little bit rusty. Knowing that work was right around the corner, packed up, headed back, bust. The next outing, we tried something a little different. We wanted to go to an area that would normally hold water, would be wide open, would give us a lot of room to kind of scout teal as they flew in. And there's a problem when you geoscout in the middle of a drought. All the water we were planning on watching was now sawgrass. So we poked through and punched through and tried to get our way to some open water, and it was gnarly filming and it was gnarly to hunt, and just like last time, right when we were about to go in, and as this whole thing starts trending down, right, there's this gnawing feeling in my gut that I'm just heading back to the curse that was late duck season last year. And that's where being a young dad and messing up a schedule really kind of has consequences. The next week was weird weather and a couple of sick kids, which means wasn't really able to slip out the house to go teal hunting. And because teal hunting is such a short season, the next week I was scheduled to be in Louisiana helping out with some conservation projects. That's where this all kind of comes to a head. As I drove down Louisiana, Kyle gave me a call and was like, hey man, teal season closes on September 29th. He strongly pointed out that I was going to be in the holy land of duck with hundreds of miles of marsh, plenty of places to find a teal. If I would just shoulder up and buy a hunting license, I might be able to knock down the teal. And so I started to think about this, and it really all came together. One of the guides I was working with, Ty Hibbs, is a premier outdoorsman, really good duck hunter, crazy amazing redfish guide, and also probably got one of the gnarliest fishing programs around by pursuing jacks on light tackle. Ty's the whole package. Even more, my older cousin Reed, who I grew up with my grandfather fishing the marsh with, was along for the ride as well. And Reed happens to know his way around a duck pond too. He lives in Mississippi, so he gets to see some of these really big pushes of birds. So out of nowhere, in the last weekend of teal season, I had a plan. Captain Ty Hibbs, my cousin Reed, and myself. If we could just sneak out a couple mornings on the water before we started our conservation work, there might be something really special here. The second day we were down there working, I got the call. Ty said the weather looks terrible for fishing, awesome for teal, so let's try to be at the boat ramp at 4 a.m. The next morning, I piled into the car and headed down to the marsh. And that's when I started looking in the back seat, and Riggins wasn't there. Kind of thought back to the whole reason I had gotten into this whole mess was just to try and get him, just trying to get him the best life that a dog could have, because he'd been so good to our family. And there he wasn't. He wasn't in the back seat. He wasn't on the way with us. It was just me and Reed. As luck would have it, we actually forgot a gun at home. And I'll be honest, it was pretty much the best case scenario. Because at that moment I realized I didn't want to hunt without Riggins. So if this meant that I'd save my time behind the gun with Riggins, Ty and Reed got to hunt and I got to film, that was a win-win-win. So sure enough, I traded in a gun for a camera and watched Reed and Ty light it up.
All right, well, we're gonna take a walk. They love a little flooded marsh like this, and they'll give us a shot to shoot something, I guess.
Get him? Yeah. As I walked out of the marsh that day, there's two things I knew. One, I wanted to experience this with Riggins. But two, I wasn't going to let any time waste between now and the beginning of duck season.
No, whoa.
At this point, I'm convinced that there's nothing Riggins can't do. Duck, he can do it. Quail, no problem. He learned in a couple of hours.
Good boy! Good boy, Riggins!
Hiking and fly fishing for red-eye bass, he nailed it. But it's actually started to nag me a little bit. Why haven't I done the most obvious thing? Why haven't I just gotten in a John boat, gone for bass, and brought Riggins along with me? Growing up, my grandfather got me into fishing. And as I grew, so did the size of my tackle box. Until about high school when I decided that there just wasn't really much better in this world than a zoom worm and largemouth bass. Any ditch, any pond that I could, not get shot at for fishing in, I'd try it. Small fish, big fish, but I loved fishing with bass. And though I fly fish a lot now, there's just not a lot of fly fishing techniques that can hold a candle to standard bass techniques. Except for one, deer hair divers. These flies are designed to kind of imitate a frog that's bobbing up and down on the surface. Now they're sculpted from deer hair, which is where they get their name, but it makes for a very, very interesting presentation. Basically, as the fly hits the water, it emits this huge splash, kind of alerting fish to its presence. But then when you pull it, instead of popping on the surface like a normal hard plastic plug, it dives. And it will dive a few inches under the water before shimmying back up to the surface, just like a struggling frog. And it just drives bass nuts. So since I've gone on all these adventures with Riggins, that was something I just thought, well, we've got to experience. Let's just go back to the basics and throw deer hair sliders against the bank, see if we can't agitate some bass into having some fun. Can you get in this? Come on. Okay, nope, off, not in the water, not in the water. Get in here, Riggins, come. Up. Riggins, load up, load up. Good boy, good boy. There we go. All right, you ready? Oh, wait, no. Help me out. Help me out. Keep our balance. Keep our balance. Easy, easy. What you think? That's a bass, Riggins. And it was just one of those things, the more I did it, the more I wanted to take Riggins with me. Yes, he wanted to jump out of the boat many times and take off after the fly. Problematically, he always wanted to get a lick or a nibble of the fish every time we brought it in. But honestly, much to everyone's surprise, it kind of worked. Riggins would stand on the front of the boat, kind of watching the world go by, and we'd pound the deer hair sliders against the bank and watch mayhem ensue. So that's how we spent the summer. We went back to our friends at Purcell Farm. We went to Oak Mountain State Park and watched them blow up the surface. We went to a couple farm ponds here and there. And then we got the invitation to go up to Turkey Creek Outdoors Lodge up in Eldridge, Alabama, in kind of the northwest part of the state. I got to bring down new friends like Larry and experience just so much fun on the water. Pretty good. You can just tap it if it's ever not behaving.
That was a huge fish. Oh my god, dude, that was.
And then you're like, the cast was pretty good. I was like, well, I should get blown up in here. Oh.
Might not get the same run time probably.
Easy, easy. Riggins, easy. No, whoa, back. But he hit that subsurface, that's not. Sit, bud, sit. Riggins, chill. Riggins, you need to act like you've been here. Doing good?
Yeah.
Remember, you can always tell, I do this all the time with people, like, hey, slow down. Fly fishing style.
Yep. Cool.
I guess lily pads work.
Maybe there are fish in those things. That's cool.
You little bass. Is that how you do a bass? Oh, Riggins, damn. Riggins, hey, chill.
The only bad news I have about that is I wasn't in 120 for that. Yeah.
If you'll try to find like 2 schools that are working,
Yep.
and flip the difference.
Yeah. Not that one.
Don't get used to this. It's not the kind of luck I normally have. Riggins, easy. Off. No. Oh. Back. Easy, bud. Hey, please don't break my rod. I'm one of the greatest players.
After nabbing a couple bass with Riggins in the boat, it was only natural to turn around and give the fly rod to Larry, who had been so gracious to film me at that point. Now, I don't want to overdo it here, but this was actually kind of special. Last year, Larry had reached out about doing a project on fishing the Cahaba, which is a nationally known, biodiverse, almost Amazon status river right here in Alabama. And he'd wanted to say, hey, can we shine some light on it by fishing? Through the course of that production, he had a lot of questions about fly fishing, and I was happy to show him the ropes based on what I knew. So it was kind of a cool literal passing of the baton when I handed him the fly rod and said, how much you been practicing? 3 casts later, it was pretty clear that Larry had spent a lot of time in the local ponds. And what's really cool is that Larry is very well known in the bass community. I mean, heck, you've seen him at Bassmaster Classics event. You've seen him almost anywhere if you've watched anything on bass fishing. So it was kind of special to say, hey, this is what I love as a fly fisherman, to go after bass with a deer hair diver and watch them just go crazy. And so me and Riggins just got to watch the fun.
Boy.
Oh, Riggins.
Hey, we're not gonna eat them. We can, do you want to?
Riggins, no, off.
I guess I gotta hold him out of his reach.
He'll chomp. Riggins, no.
Put him back.
Yeah.
Fly release.
Fly release. I love calling it that. Riggins, sit. There we go.
There's always been something very special about bass fishing. It's what I kind of grew up doing. It's what got me into fly fishing. And now, it's something that Riggins and I share. When you think about all the ways that you can enrich your life, and not in a way like with money, but with the things that really matter, that really change who you are, getting a dog has to be up there. You know, they make you laugh nearly every day.
Come on, buddy.
And are kind of a staying consistent force of joy and love in your life. I mean, they wag on the good days, they wag on the bad days, and again, are just always right there with you. But I think the crazy part about getting a dog, if you're honest, like really brutally honest, is that you know when you get a dog that you're gonna outlive them. At some point, you're gonna have to say goodbye forever. And like, we're not there with Riggins. But there's these subtle reminders that he's getting there. You know, from the bubbles that are on his side, the white around his eyes and his muzzle. It's just this kind of gnawing and nagging reminder, goodbye's coming. And if I'm really honest with myself, I've done a really bad job dealing with that. So I'll nothing back. I loved the puppy stage. While my wife was rightly annoyed with the cleanup, the messing, the chewing, the damage, wow, we just got a chew toy and it's already gone in 10 seconds. I loved every single part of the puppy phase. It really was for me just this thing I'd looked forward to for most of my life, of having my own dog and having my own puppy.
He likes me, Dad.
But there was this like one moment where he was romping down the hallway
and he was chasing a water bottle, and it was like just kind of turning over and over and over in the hallway, and he kind of slid and grabbed it and almost got hurt. And so I ran over, grabbed him, he was fine. But it hit me then that this is gonna go really fast. He's a lab, so I'm not promised more than 10 years. And 10 years can actually go by pretty quick. So in a blink of an eye, I'll go from romping with him, having puppy time, to staring into fluorescent lights of a veterinarian clinic and, you know, hear words that I don't want to hear. I think I just brushed that thought off when it first hit. And I wanted to just pretend like, no, Riggins is gonna live forever. And then like the thought kept coming back of like, Ben, you've gotten a puppy and like he is not gonna outlive you. You're gonna outlive him. You're going to be his entire life. And the more I thought about it, the more it just chewed at me. And to be clear, like the obvious answer here is to double down and enjoy every minute you have with your puppy. Like that's the honest answer. Like you don't have a lot of time, so double down and like enjoy every part of their life. But that's not what I did. I'd started to do this weird thing of putting together adventures for me and adventures for Riggins. Things for me, things for Riggins. It was like I put a clear line between what he was and what he was doing and what I was doing. Even though like I was a fly fisherman in Tennessee, there's no reason that he shouldn't have been in the car every day with me fly fishing. Like that's just obvious. It was almost like I was holding the fact that one day he was going to be gone against him.
It was like his fault that his life was going to be shorter than mine.
Which is ridiculous. And again, like the simple and wise thing would have been just to thrive and enjoy all of his puppy years and get out there and go on adventures. Because he was and continues to be like a nearly perfect dog. He's like the one that's never run away, the one that never chewed up our house, the one that never, you know, tumped over the trash can and got into everything. Like the kind of dog you could leave a plate of food on the floor and he wouldn't eat it. The kind of dog that, you know, when babies came, he loved our kids as much as we did, which is nuts.
What is it? Okay. Good boy. Hey. That's a pretty one.
He's a camera.
And that's the kind of dog you write stories about. So I guess this is what all of this is about. What started as duck hunting with Riggins and me trying to learn something so that he could thrive has become this angle of like, how can I
try to redeem some of the wasted years and do the things that we should have been doing. Literally like break through that wall that I put up, because really I owe that to Riggins. I mean, I feel like I'd owe it to him if he was just a normal dog, but he's a great dog. And so that's why we're going to the mountains as a family, because we're not promised another day with Riggins. And it's kind of embarrassing if you actually think about it. He was a puppy around trout water, and we never caught a trout together. So now that he's here, and we're trying to figure this out, we've had to take what we've learned from red-eye bass fishing about waiting at every pool, which he hates. But I've also had to learn, like, we need to get exercise going before we do the actual fishing part. So we're gonna throw the stick, we're gonna warm him up, get him good and tired, so that when we get to the water, because he's a Labrador, the urge to swim isn't as aggressive. And so we take the kids out on a small hike. It's in this quiet section of public land, and we rotate through flies. Like I remember the old days when I trout fished, like you gotta convince them to eat. And the kids are splashing, Riggins is splashing. I'm like, this is not gonna work. And then boom. Right there, that's it. Have a eat on a dry fly. Bring it in, and it's a awesome little brown trout. And it's funny, like the kids wanna touch the trout. Riggins wants to touch the trout. And as much as I'm like trying to manage it as a dad, like everybody calm down, like everybody stop touching the fish, it hits me like that was the whole point, right? All right there, where the kids are there, Riggins is there, and there's a beautiful brown trout there. And so thankfully at the moment I was able to take a breath and be like, well, that was really cool. You know, that was pretty special to be a part of. But then the next morning came. We had chosen where we were staying so that we would be on a trout stream. I just knew with babies and all the other chaos that goes on, we needed that. And so I went out early in the morning to fish. Took Riggins with me and threw a dry fly upstream. And these fish were not in the best of moods. I find that trout never are in the best of moods. But anyways, we are casting and casting. And I throw the dry fly upstream, and this little sip happens. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cute. That's gonna be like a little trout. It's a win. And as I go to set the hook, another fish like torpedoes itself out of the water, and it's a really good fish. Oh my gosh. And Riggins reacts and kind of jumps. And it's not until probably 30 seconds that I realize that that is actually the fish that I'm hooked into. So I panic because, again, I've never caught a trout that big. To my dumb eyes, it looks like a steelhead. So I'm freaking out and I'm running up and down the bank. Riggins is reacting to my energy, and so he's running everywhere. And then we like, where's the net? Where's the net? And thankfully, one of my buddies, Brandon, finally finds it on the bank. He's like, I got this. And I was like, just take your best shot, man. I don't know how this is gonna go. He's like, do you trust me? I was like, I don't trust myself to land this. Like, knock yourself out. And Brandon throws that net down, and the fish barely fits. And he's like, what do I do? I was like, bear hug it, like trap it into the net. And so we land it, and it doesn't break off. And Riggins is there, and at that moment, some of the kids who were eating breakfast, they've walked down to kind of like in their PJs, right, to look at the pandemonium. And it's just like this A+ moment, right, of Riggins, a trout I definitely don't deserve, a really good trout, and the whole family there. And I gotta be honest, that felt like a little bit of redemption.
And so when I think back for this year, this journey that Riggins and I have gone on, is that there's this deep irony. Riggins was always there by my side, excited to be there. And I was all like just driven of like, we're gonna get a public land duck together. Like, it's going to happen. I'm gonna force it, man. I will learn everything to get you a duck, Riggins. We're gonna go red-eye bass fly fishing.
Oh, Riggins! I was focused on you and other fish.
We're gonna go bass fishing together. We're gonna go teal hunting. And the thing that hits me is that he never cared about what the goal was. He cared about just being there.
Oh! Good boy!
Load up, no bird. And that's the part that like sucks, because it's like, man, part of his life, I really screwed this up. But that's the awesome part, is there's this energy of now like anything outdoors, Riggins is coming with.
So we're going to take training seriously, because that special time between us getting ready for an adventure. We're going to take nutrition seriously, because we literally have no time to waste. We're going to play in the backyard with the family, rain or shine or snow, because that's what makes all of us happy.
Today, he was just as excited to be on the trout stream with what I think is an incredible trout as he would be just playing with the kids inside, or chasing the kids around while they practice their demo fly rod. He's happy no matter what. In his life, which we've been blessed to be a part of, he was just as joyful on the couch as he was on the top of a mountain. He was just happy to be with us. It didn't matter if it was good news, it didn't matter if it was bad news. Riggins was there. All he ever wanted was just to be with us. And so that's what's awesome, because he's still here with us. You know, this is me learning something the hard way, but not too late. When you've been loved well, when you've been given a bucket full of joy that's literally overflowing, when you have a dog that's a God-given gift to your life, you don't brush it off and just say, it's just a dog, it's no big deal. No, you lean all the way in and you enjoy every minute of it. You go on every adventure. You open up every part of your life. You soak it all up, because that's a gift. And like, it's sometimes hard to receive gifts. Like, if we're honest with ourselves, like, it's hard to receive gifts sometimes. But when you get one like my family has gotten in Riggins, the best choice is to receive it and to love it and be so thankful for it that you're like, you're never gonna waste a moment of it.
It's been over a year since we tried the craziest idea on earth. Take my family dog, who loves to nap, thinks spring mix is a treat, is kind of gloriously uncoordinated sometimes, and other times is pretty athletic, and train him for duck season by a guy who's never hunted before. Literally, when I started this journey, I had no idea what I was doing. And while I've had a lot of laughs along the way, I've never really truly realized the wild juxtaposition that ended up flipping around. Riggins, who, yes, at home was really goofy, turned out to be naturally talented, almost at ease, full of joy just to get out there on the duck pond, kind of present in the moment. In contrast to me, who is a striver, an all-nighter, a pusher, a shover, a little bit of a try-hard, and I was the one holding him back. I was the bad shot that couldn't knock down a bird. While Riggins was watching the sky and watching where the birds were coming from, all of which makes opening day really hard. Pressure. Pressure.
Yeah.
Lots of pressure. Did I scout enough? Did I train Riggins enough? Did we spend too much of our time in the backyard and not enough on the water? Was it just enough? Did I practice clays enough? Have I gotten good enough to knock down a bird? Did I actually do targets and practice that actually replicate ducks, like specifically wood ducks? And as that pressure builds and builds and builds and builds and builds, suddenly, weirdly, I'm back at Ole Miss in my mind. It's a long story, but I grew up dreaming about Ole Miss football, which is pretty weird for a kid who grew up in Alabama. There was only two schools, Alabama and Auburn, and I always thought about Ole Miss. But growing up, I was actually pretty pudgy and deeply unathletic. Until 9th grade when I taught myself how to wail on a football. I joined the team, lost weight, got better, and by my 12th grade year, I got a call from Hugh Freeze. There was a spot on the roster for me. But before this all sounds heroic or anything crazy, I need to be honest, I was a kicker. Do not look like an SEC football player. And that's what no one really talks about. Yes, in addition to being one of the most pressured positions in SEC football, you're kind of an odd man on the football team. You're literally like a golfer who's been placed on a team. And just like in duck hunting, I got acquainted with failure in a very special way. A receiver who drops a pass, there's another down. A lineman who misses a block, oh well. But a miss for a kicker, that's just downright unforgivable. And when I got death threats, I learned this the fast and hard way via Facebook when I was a high school football player. But if I'm seeing clearly, that pressure, that ostracization, that weird odd man out from being on a football team, it actually kind of refines you. It toughens you and makes you realize of what actually was at stake. And just kind of like I learned at Ole Miss, with a quick exhale, that pressure fades away. Prepping for this season was information overload. Alabama is simultaneously chock full of places to look at, but not chock full of places that are legal to hunt. We have good public land, but it's typically geared towards deer hunters, not really folks chasing after waterfowl. And so there's this kind of ping pong match of how far do we want to send it on opening day, and how hard do we need to bust it, and what are new places we need to go to? Do we need to travel out of state? And this is where Kyle, who's been a friend and honestly a guide through all this, he kind of calmed it all down and said, look, let's keep it simple and let's go back to old spots. But Alabama was in a drought. So despite our best geoscouting, no map could predict what a tiny cypress swamp or duck pond in Alabama would look like after months without rain. with all the mounting pressure and all the stress ready for opening day, it's a blank. Actually, the first 3 hunts of the season are blanks. And if you do a lot of public land hunting, this should stress you out, because this is when the birds have been the least harassed at the beginning of the season. We couldn't find water. And so that pressure comes back. It's almost like what I experienced in football. The longer you go without an attempt, the more pressure the next one's going to have, because you know it means more. So hunt 4, no birds. Hunt 5, no birds. Every time you know the next hunt is more important. Your best opportunities are slipping away. If anything, it feels like the 3rd and 4th quarter and the game's about to slip away. So it settles into another rhythm of pounding away at public land ducks. We start to see a couple wood ducks here and there, but they just aren't flying within reasonable shots. Because I'm hyperextended on time, I'm mixing in new guys who are going hunting with me, and we're trying something new at every turn. Trying to stack odds in my favor, I actually pick up a wood duck call, start to learn that every time I'm in the car, trying to really pick out what a sitting hen looks like versus a calling male, and of course trying my best to never sound like a flying bird. And it all kind of falls away because I realize I'm trying too much. Trying to capture these moments with Riggins, run a couple of decoys with lots of movement on the water while calling, while again remembering that I'm not a great shot. And so I try to simplify and settle and go to a place that was really good for Kyle and I last year. And that pressure is still building. Knowing that if I get a shot, that may be the only one for a while. There's just not a lot.
If you're excited about crows.
Right now. And sure enough, I got what I was looking for. Two wood ducks start to come in to a wide lagoon that I had scouted. They come over my right shoulder, so I know I've got to pan a little bit to the left. And at the last second, they nudge their wings to the left and make a dart for the decoys I have in the water. I drop the jerk string, place the gun up, fire once, fire twice, and there it is again. Missed. It's hard to describe that pit in my stomach. As Riggins and I jumped in the car alone and drove back 2 hours to Birmingham. It's sadly a feeling I know well. When you fail, you've worked really hard and you blew it. That's where this parallel to football comes swinging back. If there's ever a superpower of those guys who play special teams, it's the art of forgetfulness. Literally forgetting the bad crap that just happened and refocusing on the target at hand. It's not easy. Never is. But because the nature of the sport is that you fail a lot, it's really the only way you get better. And so we bounce back. It's almost like there's some freedom in failure. You've gotten the bad stuff out of the way. The only way is up. And that's how I felt, not driving home that day. We're going to make this happen. But when I rallied the next day, I were going every morning until we figured it out. As Riggins and I shuffled down the mountain to get to this wooded pond, there was a lot to like about it. There was marshy grass at the head of it, a nice thick beaver dam at the bottom of it, and plenty of room to see birds. As day broke and I got the decoys out, we were greeted by not ducks, but hundreds of crows. Literally to a point of annoyance where I thought about firing a shot across the pond just to scare them off. But then it hit me. If public land ducks are a little weary of duck calls, I had a little bit of sonic cover. I don't know if that's a real thing, but in my head it sounded right. So I start hammering at this wood duck call. I am just hammering a hen call because my thought is that you have this blanket of sound from the crows, and the only way wood ducks will hear is if I hammer through that just racket. I call and I call and I call, and sometimes I break the reed and it sounds bad, and other times, hey, it sounds like exactly what I've heard in recordings. Finally, the crows push off, and it's just silent. Then there they are, flying directly at me. The pressure goes straight to my chest. They're coming faster, 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 directly at me. I pull the jerk string, give one little call, I pick up the gun. And while I was really bent on letting the birds land, something I hadn't been good at all season, I noticed quickly that they're pulling up. They're not going to land. And so that pressure, it's in between my ears now, pounding. Miss. Second shot. Miss. But for a half second, the bird seemed surprised, which buys me just enough time to fire off a third shot. The bird, it drops.
Bring it back, Rick. Bring it back. Bring it back.
But as Riggins runs over, worst case scenario happens. Above the tree line, I see the bird pop back up and fly off. And as that sinking, I'm ready to throw up feeling starts to set in, one of the birds from before has been circling. It actually passes by my right side and lands along the beaver dam. With really poor instincts, I fire a Hail Mary shot across the pond. Dumb. Really dumb idea. But then it gets up, and it's looking for the other birds. And surely, and unbelievably, it takes another step. Flies a lap around the pond. Embarrassingly, I don't know what to do, because is this bird gonna land, or is it gonna fly off? And this is this exasperated feeling I had when I played football. Like, what am I doing wrong? I blow the call again, it takes another lap around me. Okay, here comes another attempt. Fire a shot. Miss. Finally, I let out 2 calls to see if it'll finally just land, and it doesn't. And right as it makes one more pass, I fire a shot. Another miss. As I go to reload, I see the bird hop the tree line and move on to another pond. And in that still silence of completely shanking every attempt I had, kind of felt myself implode a little bit. I knew that was the best shot I had gotten in duck hunting over the past 2 seasons. I knew that Riggins was watching the whole thing, and that was going to be his bird. I knew that if anyone was with me who was half decent with a shotgun, they would have knocked it down. I didn't have it. And so as Riggins swam laps around the pond and started to goof off in the grass behind me, kind of just let him play. I didn't know, would I see another bird? Would there be another attempt? Did I even want to go duck hunting ever again? Stiffen my chin and move the decoys around and pretend that I'll be ready for the next shot. In the background, Riggins had been running around on the marsh grass acting like a complete fool. I mean, it's on brand for him. Jumping over this marsh grass puff and jumping over this one. He kind of looked like a drunken gazelle. It was honestly pretty funny to watch. But as I got everything set back up, I needed him to be quiet so that we could be ready if there was ever going to be another bird again. So I said, Riggins, come back. And he kind of looked at me and started jumping around again. And I kind of got annoyed. I was like, man, we've got to focus at the task at hand. And he kind of skitters off into the marsh grass, almost like a disobedient toddler wanting to play. I looked back at the horizon and I said, you know, well, at least he's quiet. A couple minutes later, he starts to growl, which is not something he does often. And I look back and I don't see him, and I look back at the horizon, hope the ducks aren't coming, and then I hear him kind of making a commotion again. Okay, he's found a possum, or goodness, a deer. And so I load the gun and walk over to him. And as I walk over, his very goofy self runs up, slithers through one of the marsh tunnels, and gives me a big, goofy, Riggins smile. I was like, what are you doing, buddy? And he runs off. I was like, Riggins, come back. Like, what are you barking at? And he gives me this look, which I hadn't seen before. And so in our very bad training, I remember what I taught him for retrieving. Go back. And it clicked. He sprints off into the marsh grass. Bounce, bounce, bounce over all this marsh grass. And comes sprinting back. And right when he turns the corner, I see it. A drake. Beautiful, full plumage wood duck drake. My mind turned out that I had not the one that was circling as the bird that had flown off.
All the way. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
I had made the shot the whole time. And apparently Riggins knew it was there the whole time. He just didn't think I was interested in it. In that moment, I saw something wonderful. Riggins was proud of himself. There was a smile behind that big Labrador face. He knew that was what we were there to do. He was there to retrieve a duck. I was there to hunt the duck. Just turns out I was a little scattered. That's the crazy part of feeling all that pressure. All that pent up, do we have what it takes? All those cinder blocks on our shoulders and really on my head. In a moment, they were gone. There he was, a family dog who had made the full switch from couches to duck ponds, from snoozing to hunting, from waiting to retrieving. And as I stared out on the duck pond, I couldn't help but feel all worked up. There was so much in one moment where I was legitimately thinking about giving up duck hunting forever because I couldn't turn a dang corner. Riggins was out playing. Where I was literally having a gut-wrenching reaction to what felt like a do-over from my playing days. Riggins was excited for the next turn. And when I was the one who had given up all hope, Riggins was the one who dug deep and found some. We're not getting ducks, or because you're gonna lean on Kyle and not me.
Well, it really, honestly, it's
I'm so
kind
glad I
of.
brought my toddler. Why are we eating a screw?
Oh, nice.
Like, of all things, man. I'm trying to learn how to duck hunt, not get you lead poisoning. Do you mind? Play with that.
Good boy.
Riggins, what are you doing?
Island stuff.
Bring it back. I know. Those plastic ducks taste better. They just do.
Hey, we're right here. You're fine. Riggins, how do we feel about life? Are you hungry or something? What do you need? What have you done?
Ruben, what did you do?
Good job.